Hello and welcome to my video, which is a recognition guide on the M-84 or how to tell it apart from a standard T-72. Now, in this video, I will not be going over every version of the M-84, nor every version of the T-72 and adjacent main battle tanks. And I hope you can understand me clearly, since I'm recording this on my phone and I'm not a native English speaker. But I'm a native speaker of a language that is spoken by only 0.025% of the world's population. So I have an advantage in that. One of the advantages is that I can read sources in my language and a few adjacent ones. So I have stuff a lot of people can't reach. Anyway, let's get on with the video. So the M-84, if you do not know, is the Yugoslav quote-unquote license production of the T-72M main battle tank. Now, why is it in quotes? Well, the Yugoslavs, because, we were smart, decided, we're gonna make it our own. So the armor is completely different, but a lot of the differences are internal. This means it's very, very close in resemblance to the T-72M, A, B without the ERA, and other tanks. Now, so basically, the main difference, the main way you can tell a M-84 from a T-72 is very obvious, and it's so obvious that I'm basically panning the video so it's not a YouTube short. Now, the thing you can recognize the M-84 from the T-72 is the weather probe. The meteorological probe on the M-84 is there to basically take into account wind, rain, and other such stuff that could have an impact on the flight time and the flight path of a shell traveling downrange. Now, I'm saying I mean Yugoslavia, have put that on our tanks since 1983. The Russians have been putting it on since the 2000s. Now, the probe in question is called the A20XMBL, which is made by Geotech, a Swiss company. It is mounted on every M-84, basically regardless of model or country that it's serving in, and it is a basically stick behind the gun, or on top of it rather, on the turret. It is there, so you can tell it pretty easily from the T-72, but do not confuse it with the laser warning receiver. Now, the probe comes in, like, not really two versions, but on some tanks it's tall and pointy, another is just a stubby structure. I assume those more reliable method is to look at the gunner sight. Now, in the early T-72s, the gunner sight was basically very thin, and it had a separate night sight. Now, in the M-84, the sights are merged together into one sight, the DNNS2. You can tell it apart by it being a bit wider than the original T-72 sight, and it having a circular hole instead of a square one. Now, the newer T-72s have an even wider sight, so watch out for that. Also, most of the M-84s do not have ERA. Now, some Serbian versions do have it, but it's different than the Russian one. Also on the Serbian versions. So the Serbs made some upgrades to their M-84s, and some of the upgrades look suspiciously close to the T-90. Now, you can tell these apart by the camo. The Serbs use a free color camo, and the Russians a solid color camo, mostly. Now, I have not heard of any Bosnian modifications apart from a site that was maybe made under austerity conditions, but this is speculated upon. We don't have conclusive evidence, or should I say, we don't have conclusive evidence that more than one was produced. And of course, Slovenia and Croatia also made their variants. There is the M-84D, which is deserving of its own video, and of course, it's claimed that the Croatians use them. However, I have not seen any in like actual real life. But Slovenia and Croatia together developed the M-84A4 Sniper. Sniper means, of course, sniper. This version has a better sight and basically a better fire control system. But that is also very internal, so you can't really tell them apart. Now, you can recognize actual vehicles from Croatia by their solid color camo, which is slightly darker than the old Soviet camo, and Yugoslav camo for that matter, and their own Croatian markings like their coat of arms. The Slovenians, because we are so cool, have our own camo, which is, look at it, it's very nice, isn't it? Nice free colors. And also there's our little country symbol on the tank, painted on the tanks, so watch out for that. Also, another thing is some of the tanks have been upgraded with an Israeli radio, and you can recognize those by them having two antennas on the side of the turret, but that is not universal, and there are many tanks without them. I have seen both. So that's pretty much it. Of course, there are other versions of both the T-72 and the M-84 that I have not touched on. However, that's for somebody else to do. Also, that's pretty much it. I hope that the recording is good, since I'm not doing this shit again. And I hope you enjoyed that video. So, thank you for watching, I guess. I mean, I don't know what to put at the end of the video, so, subscribe, like, the standard stuff.